What do you do when there's a holiday or event that you've been looking forward to for months, but then something goes wrong and this thing you've been so excited about seems ruined? We've all had our fair share of disappointments in life, where some situation doesn't turn out as you had expected, and you're angry about the situation you didn't ask for, but have to deal with. It happens a lot more than we'd like, doesn't it? Life's surprises aren't always positive. But you know, there's something to be said about the bad surprises we get as well. Today, I'd like to share a story with you and explore what we can do when we're faced with something frustrating and how we can change our mindset when all we want to do is be angry with the world. Once, I planned a once-in-a-lifetime trip to see the Northern Lights. Like many people, I had this on my bucket list and was so excited when it was time to go on this trip. Well, it didn't quite turn out as planned. Picture this. The drama starts at the departure airport, right at the boarding gate, about half an hour before takeoff. At first, nothing seems really wrong. The gate has just opened for boarding, so the passengers on my flight start queuing to board the plane. I join them. It's a full flight. In fact, it's an overbooked flight. The ground agent manning the gate keeps broadcasting and asking for volunteers who will give up their seat and take the next flight in exchange for some cash compensation. I listen to all this with interest because in the parts of the world where I normally travel in, overselling flights to this extent doesn't happen. You never have a situation where there are more passengers at the gate than there are seats. Eventually, I get to the front of the queue. I hand over my ticket for it to be scanned. The machine makes a loud error sound, a big, almost unhappy eh. The ground agent asks me to step aside and continues boarding other passengers. At this point, I develop a sense of unease and it grows with every passenger who gets to board. Finally, when the last passenger has boarded the plane, the ground agent at the gate turns to me with an apologetic smile. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. The flight is oversold and you cannot board this plane." Imagine my horror. Here I am, ready to embark on this once-in-a-lifetime journey to see the Northern Lights, a long-held dream of mine. And despite my having a ticket for the flight, the system picked me as the passenger to be denied boarding. I'm assured that the next flight is only in 5 hours' time. Of course, as luck would have it, this turns into 7 hours, then 10, then eventually 12 hours. The flight delay turns into 12 long anxiety-riddled hours. By the time we cross into Canada and land, it's almost 1 a.m., which is surreal, since I was expecting to arrive in the early afternoon that day, but instead I'm so tired I can barely keep my eyes open. When we get to the luggage belt, there is one more surprise for me, which is my checked luggage did not arrive with me. This is despite my repeated requests to the ground agents before my flight to please ensure my checked luggage was taken off the original flight and transferred to the new one. And it's not even one of those situations where they know where your luggage is and will deliver it soon. I'm told that they are having some trouble locating the luggage in the departure airport, so I could only wait as they search. So there I was, having just gone through a very unexpected 12-hour flight delay and feeling dead tired at 1 a.m, but I didn't have any of the clothes that I'd packed for minus 30 degrees Celsius weather. That's minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Plus, my journey wasn't even over yet. I was due to take another flight to reach my final destination, the city of Yellowknife. I wouldn't wish what I went through on anyone, but I did learn so much from it. For one, when the ground agent told me I could not board my flight, a part of me did want to be angry and upset with someone, just so I could get it off my chest. But another part of me thought, getting angry won't solve the problem, especially since I had to work together with the ground agent to secure new tickets for my new flight. so I stayed calm and kept the mood light, throwing in a joke here and there while chatting with the ground agents, who eventually were able to arrange a nice surprise for me. One agent handed me my new ticket with a smile. "I've managed to upgrade you to business class." I very much doubt that the staff would have been willing to go the extra mile for me and help upgrade my seat on their own initiative if I had been rude and angry with them. And that's the thing. Knowing that you have every right to be angry doesn't mean you need to actually be angry. Because anger makes us lose our heads, and when we lose our heads, we often do things that we later regret or make our situation worse. Don't let anger, even if it's justified, dictate you and what you do. Again, don't let anger dictate you and what you do. Putting this into practice can sometimes be hard, because when life throws you lemons, the timing is always unexpected and you're caught off guard. That makes it harder to control your emotions in that very moment. If you're struggling, take a breather. Focus on your breath and count to 5. What that does is it takes you mentally out of the situation, so you're focusing on something else other than the upsetting situation. That helps you step away from the immediate emotions you're feeling and makes it easier for you to keep your head. After you've counted to 5, ask yourself, what can I do to make this situation better? You don't need to be a saint, nor be generous and forgiving straight away if that's not what you're ready for. But you must keep your head about you, especially if you're feeling the start of anger bubbling inside you. As long as we keep our heads about us, we can make good decisions, and there is hope. A lot of times, our anger comes from a place of frustration. Frustration at how the situation feels totally out of our control, how things didn't go to plan. You might feel like you've landed in a really unfair situation too, especially if you've done everything you could beforehand to prepare for it, and it's something out from left field that spoils your plans. But try reframing your perspective. The situation might seem out of your control, but that is not really the case, because you can control your emotions. You can reframe your perspective. When you next find yourself in a disappointing situation and are feeling angry, take a breather and repeat to yourself, "There are things beyond my control, but my emotions are not one of them. I can make the most of this." In my case, when I reached my bed and breakfast in Yellowknife and shared what had happened, not ranting or being angry, but just explaining the bad luck, I was met with an incredible amount of empathy, generosity, and kindness. You guys, the kindness. Fellow guests and B&B manager lent me everything they could find in my size. Hats, jackets, snow pants, and even boots fit for Arctic conditions. So despite the ups and downs, I not only survived the cold, I got to see the northern lights every single night I was there. Oh, and yes, my luggage did eventually get there, when I was halfway through my trip already. Again, you can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to a situation. Of course, when something frustrating, inconvenient, or disappointing happens, the first instinct is anger. You feel justified to feel that way. Someone didn't do their job properly, and now your holiday seems pretty much ruined. But remember, our ability to control our emotions is like a muscle. The more often you use it, the stronger it becomes, and the more accessible it becomes to you over time. So keep practicing, flex that muscle. Remind yourself always that there are still things within your control. In time, you'll find that you can see the positive side of things and be a pro at managing not just bad situations, but also your own emotions. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Art to Heart, where we chat about life as we work our way through a painting. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, whether about the painting or what we talked about, please feel free to drop a comment below. And if you felt this video was helpful, please click the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll catch you in another video.